Hey everyone, Brandon from Brandon's Baseball Cards here. Tonight's video is going to be just kind of some tips of the tips and tricks of the trade, that things that I've learned while developing my vintage baseball pack collection. And I thought it would be useful because some of you have reached out to me, whether it's via email or in comments on previous videos. You've reached out and you've indicated that you're interested in getting into pack collecting, or you've already begun to get into pack collecting. And I just thought it would be useful because I have been doing this for a little while to maybe share maybe some insights about some things I've learned about how to pick up good deals and things of that nature. So the first question that I'm going to pose and then answer would be, how do you know if you're getting a good deal on an unopened pack? The system that I take, the method that I use when I'm looking for packs to add to my collection is I browse eBay, right? Nothing special. Browse eBay, several times a week, looking at specific years, the years that I'm interested in collecting. So late 70s to early 80s mostly. And if I see a pack that I think is a good deal, right? If I see a pack that looks promising, right? If it's a buy it now and the price is very, very fair, or I think it's very, very fair, I just check really the best reference that we have for unopened material, which is the price of a similar item on the baseball card exchange website. Right. So, for example, the other day I bought a 1985 Topps pack, rack pack that I'll be showing hopefully here in the next few weeks. I don't mind telling you what I paid because it's not a big deal. I paid $14.50 after shipping for this pack. Okay, and I knew that was a very fair price because not only because a lot of the 85 Topps packs on eBay are a lot more money than $14.50, but also because 1985 Topps rack packs are $18 on the baseball card exchange website. So I had a good idea of that I was getting a pretty fair price on this pack. So I would encourage you to, if you're browsing around eBay looking for deals, right, which is where a lot of us, build our collections. If you're looking at packs and you're curious, am I potentially overpaying for an item? Check the baseball card exchange website and try to compare and see if the prices are similar. Because I will say this, a lot of unopened material on eBay is egregiously overpriced. And even if it's certified authentic stuff, right? Even if it's very, very clear you're getting a quality item, it still could be way overpriced compared to baseball card exchange or some other companies. So for example, at the National this year, I bought a 1978 Topps rack pack that just Bobby Bonds was on the front. I thought it was kind of a cool looking pack. I paid $159 for the pack. For a 78 Topps rack pack. Okay, on eBay right now there are a whole bunch of them that are $250 a piece, $275 a piece as buy it nows. Not good deals, right? So there are some really, really inflated prices of some of the unopened material on eBay. So be wary of that, because if you just go on eBay and just do a little bit of browsing and buy something, you may be overpaying substantially. That being said, the second piece of advice that I would have is, if there's an item you're interested in buying and you've compared the cost of the item on eBay to the cost on the baseball card exchange website, if the price is really fair and you're confident that the item is legitimate, I would snatch it up. If the unopened market is so hot right now that if you wait 1 day or 2 days to buy something that's a very fair price, it's probably going to be snatched up. To give an example, right, the 1985 Topps rack pack that I recently purchased on eBay, there were other rack packs that the dealer had that had star cards showing. I'm not going to show my hand. I'd like you to watch a later video when I show you the rack pack that I bought. But there were 85 tops, other 85 tops baseball rack packs that had Nolan Ryan showing, that had George Brett showing, other star cards, and the prices were all very, very fair on these packs. I checked today just out of curiosity, and I was looking at getting the pack with a Nolan Ryan card on the back, and lo and behold, it was gone. Right, so when you do find a very fair price, snatch up the item. Don't hesitate, because it will be gone, and it could be someone like me buying it. So another question that I think is a fair one, and that's what years are best to purchase if you're looking to get into collecting or investing in unopened material. The answer to that question is it depends on the sport. Right, most of what I do is obviously baseball. Right, this is Brandon's Baseball Cards channel. Right, most of what I do is baseball, and with baseball, you really are more limited in the time period that is heavily collectible. Anything I would say generally 1985 and earlier is not only a solid investment, but that's where the real value is. Anything past 1985, generally speaking, with some exceptions, right, such as the 1992 Bowman, right, which is the Mariano Rivera rookie year. 1989 Fleer still has some value, right? But starting in 1986 is really where we see the beginning of the junk wax era for baseball, right? For football, it's completely different, right? 1986 Topps football is one of the most desired products out there because the Steve Young and Jerry Rice rookie happens to be in the 86 Topps product, right? So a rack pack of 86 Topps football is around $100, give or take. So completely different worlds, right? So the answer is it depends on, the sport that you like to collect. But generally speaking, at least for baseball, 1985 and earlier is really where you're going to get the value, right? And it's really where not only is there 1985 is really. What's interesting is that it doesn't really work in a linear fashion, right? 1984 isn't necessarily more valuable than 1985, right? With unopened material, it depends on, in a lot of instances, who the key rookies are, right? So 1985 Topps is way more valuable. It's probably double the cost for a 1985 Topps box than a 1984 Topps box. And it's because in an 84 box, there's only two big rookies. There's Mattingly and there's Darryl Strawberry. Right, in 1985 Topps, you have McGuire, you have Clemens, you have Doc Gooden, you have Eric Davis, you have Kirby Puckett. It's loaded with rookies, and so 1985 is actually more valuable than 1984. So kind of interesting, but something to keep in mind. What big rookies are in this pack, or in this set. That'll tell you a lot about the ability for the pack to retain value and increase in value. Again, if you are an investor. I am not an investor in this respect. I do have some, that I've kind of hoarded, in the hopes that they appreciate in value over time. But generally speaking, I just collect this stuff and love it. One more piece of advice would be to be wary of unopened single wax packs. On eBay, if the price is too good for a raw wax pack, if there's a 1980 Topps wax pack on eBay, for example, and it's $12 or $15, I can guarantee you with 99% certainty that it is not legitimate, that it's been tampered with, that someone's opened it and resealed it or something along those lines. So if you're buying individual wax packs on eBay, you really need to make sure that it's either a product that is not going to be faked. Right, so 1987 Topps, for example, you don't really need to worry if you're going to buy, if you're going to buy junk wax, it's not as big of an issue. But if you're going to buy a 1979 Topps pack, single pack, or 1980 Topps single pack, or not even 1981 Topps single pack, it may be best to just, if you're going to collect the pack, if you're not going to break it open, it may be best to just go ahead and buy a PSA graded pack, because then at least you know that Steve Hart has authenticated it and PSA has graded it. Right, so it's in the nice PSA. The pack cases are huge when you get a pack graded by PSA. So it's in a nice protective case, and Steve Hart has confirmed that it's legit, right? Because Steve Hart is the wax pack Buddha, so to speak. So be wary of unopened single wax packs. You'll notice I didn't say rack packs, right? One of the reasons I spend a lot more time focusing on adding rack packs to my collection is because they're so much harder to tamper with. It is much more difficult to tamper with a rack pack and to essentially fake, put back together a fake rack pack. It's very, very difficult, if not impossible in many respects. So you can buy rack packs with more confidence on eBay than you can wax packs. So even you can buy I'm not saying that there's not fake rack packs. I'm sure there are on eBay. But you can be more confident that the pack that you are buying, if it's a rack pack, it has not been tampered with. So it's about confidence, right? And after you buy it, one good thing that I like to do is I purchase the item and then I have the dealer, not all dealers will do this, but I have the dealer ship the item directly to Baseball Card Exchange so Steve Hart can authenticate it and wrap it. So if you're going to collect it and you want it in a nice top load, Baseball Card Exchange has these rack pack top loads. And they'll tell you if the pack's legit that you've just purchased, and they'll wrap it for you and put it in their top load, so it's nice and pretty, a nice display piece. So that's all the advice that I wanted to share with you guys. I hope you all have stayed to the end of this video. This is kind of a longer one, but I really appreciate all of you who've reached out to me and started to discuss your pack collection and things that you're purchasing. I love it. I love hearing from everybody, and hopefully this video is helpful. So with that, I hope you all have a great night and keep collecting vintage baseball.